scared the dog. So am I mainly looking at this camera, and this is just one on the side? Just ignore that one.
Just look at this.
Okay. Hey, this is Ande McNamara. Thanks for tuning in. We're doing a follow-up video today from my colonoscopy video. I probably wasn't entirely with it for that video, and in hindsight have probably more to share, and then looking at people's questions. I want to kind of talk just a little bit more about the whole day and how it went down and go from there. So you saw the prep, you saw all that. That morning we left to go head down there, and I like to drive normally, but I handed my husband the keys instead. Wasn't sure whether I would feel better driving or being passenger, but I knew two corners, I was like, oh, it's a real good thing I'm not driving right now. So all I'd had was the prep at this point. There was nothing else in my system, probably nothing in my system at all at that point. But I felt woozy, and I would have been driving impaired for sure. That was not an option. You know, you need a driver home, but you really do need a driver there as well, I guess, is that point. I went to a place that's like a surgical center, not the hospital, but that's what they do, is colonoscopies all day long, every day. So that's their thing. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about that experience. I haven't had one done in a hospital, but I've had many done, and they've all been in colonoscopy type centers. So, you wait in the lobby with everybody else, and then at some point they call you back. And you go back, and they're walking you down, and you see kind of beds in a row with sheets in between each one, and they got kind of a machine going, one after another. People are getting prepped in various stages and coming in and coming out, and they just got a rotation of 5 or 6 beds going. But it's all very private. You're in, your private little area with a curtain around you, and as you come in, they were asking me if I was, nauseous or in any kind of pain or feeling particularly anxious, any of those things. So in asking me those things, I think they were offering me medicine if I needed that. Yeah, you kind of sit at the back and get ready, and they're going to come in and make sure you don't need any medicine. They're going to make sure you don't need to go to the bathroom. They're going to give you a gown to put on that's going to be open in the back. Then someone will come in and put your IV in, typical, IV. This procedure is done under IV sedation.
IV sedation is a technique to help you relax when you're having surgery. The advantage of IV sedation, by the way, IV means intravenous. We give you little bits at a time so that it is safe, and we can check the amount that you're getting. Most of us will use 3 medications. We will use something to relax you. We will use something as an analgesic or painkiller. And the third thing we use is an anti-inflammatory or something to reduce swelling. They
can talk to you. They can tell you to, answer yes and no questions. They can tell you to shift your, butt to the right or whatever it is you need to do. You're not going to have deep conversations, but you're not completely out of it like you would be if you were having a major operation. You won't remember anything. I think sometimes people are concerned, will they remember something? I've had 13 of these done now. I've never remembered anything at all. So they take you back to the room when it's your turn. You've already got your IV placed in at that point. And it was back when they got me in the procedure room that they, checked with me again, and I said I am feeling nauseous, so they gave me some medicine for nausea. The anesthesiologist was with me for probably 10 minutes talking to me, asking me if I had any questions, asking me if I had any blood pressure issues, anything in the family, just kind of going over any of that sort of stuff. And all I'd had at that point was something for nausea, so I was feeling a little tired, but I chatted with him for a while, so I encourage chatting with the people there. I think it makes you feel more comfortable, so and then a nurse would pop in and out. They never left me alone at this time. If the anesthesiologist needed to leave, he made sure the nurse was there, and the doctor, or vice versa. There were kind of 3 people involved at this point. The doctor comes in and introduces himself, says we're going to get it underway. I said, well, is this going to be seconds, or how long till I'm gone? And he's like, well, it takes a little bit of time. And I'm like, okay. So I just started my normal thing I do in my head as I start counting to 10 and see if I can get to 10. And I have never ever in one of these gotten to 10. And same thing this time. I was like, okay, well, let's see how long. Maybe we're going to go long this time. If I counted higher than 10, I don't remember it. I can tell you that much. I remember maybe 4 or 5, and then but at this point I was quite comfortable and okay. And I looked at the clock right before I went under. There was one on the wall there. I kind of wanted to check to see how much time would be missing, and all in all it was about an hour's worth of time that I really can't account for. And then when I'm coming to, I'm back in the line of beds in my curtained off area, kind of in recuperation time. My husband comes in. Boy, right now I still can't remember if I got dressed on my own or if my husband came in. I know I got dressed like I didn't need assistance, but I can't remember if anyone was there or not. So there's, another half hour or so of pretty, definitely don't want to make any important decisions that day. And the doctor came to talk to me. The very last thing before we were to, leave, they do make you leave in a wheelchair just for their liability's sake, right? So they're going to have your driver pull up, and then they're going to push you out in the wheelchair right to the car. But yeah, so that's all a little foggy, and the next few hours are kind of foggy. You definitely want to just go home and chill. I didn't go home and go to sleep, which I thought I would. Like driving home, I was like, oh, I'm going to go sleep hard, and I didn't. I was hungry. So just wanted y'all to know kind of how the day went. The worst part for me has always been the preparation stuff, the day before, the morning of, the anesthesia. For me, I don't know, I never worried as much about that. It's always been really, really smooth. Never seen anyone have anything weird about it. So I think if you're worried about that, you're in good hands. You are. These people do this all day long. So thanks for listening, and I appreciate it. Have a good one. Bang my microphone at some point. I tried to re-talk and maybe fix that. But,
that's perfect. What do you think?
Water jabbering.
You nailed it? Awesome. All right. Nailed it. Well, I'm not here. No, you're good.
So you're laying down.